very beautiful Sunday evening over here, South Nigeria, and it's this honor to stay in here this evening and uproot another issue. I mean, the part two of what we discussed on Tuesday evening, talking about masturbation. If you actually followed us, you will see that we were not able to have the female guest joining us to uproot and tell us what is actually going on about women in this masturbation, issue. And somehow initially back then, when you go to someone's house, at least bad as a bad, you go see Gary sip. But what you will see now, you won't love to hear from my ear. You will see sex toys. They are actually normalizing this, and we will actually ask ourselves why are we finding sex toys in most homes? Why has it come to stay? Or have sex toys and dildos come to stay? It's a question we'll answer this evening. Are men not performing well? Men, are you guys not doing the job very well? Why are women actually settling for sex toys? Why is masturbation on a high side? So joining us this evening is a guidance counselor. She's actually passing out as the 30th Students' Union President of the first federal university in Akwa Ibom State, that is University of Uyo, Comrade Darago Victor. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much, Ikemine Query, for having me on today's or tonight's show of the issue. I'm so glad to be here. I feel very elated to be
Okay, so yeah, uproot people. Network has happened to us again. But then we'll get to answer the big question: do women masturbate more than men? And do women actually masturbate more than the men do? Because when we talk about masturbation, we are trying to look at it in the men's sphere. It's something that only men, are doing. Is it that women are actually, excluded, or are they doing this and we another way? We hope to have Darago Victor back, but Darago Victor actually is an excellent leader. She is a guidance counselor. I mean, a very good person, a resource person to talk about this, because of course this has to do with the women. So thank you so much for joining us on the live. I feel the network issue is actually, trying to trying to disrupt the progress of today's live, but definitely we are hopeful that we will have her, you know, back. Okay, so what do you think about the whole topic? What do you think? Do you think women masturbate more? Do you think that women masturbate more than men, or men are not? Why do women really masturbate? Yes, why do women masturbate? Let's get to answer that question. Let me hear what you have to say in the comment section, because I feel you have a lot to share. This not is this very one is not about gender. We are not attacking anybody. We are not actually dragging anybody. We are actually being real, real in homes. If you should check the level of infidelity, if you should check the level of issue with regards to marriage at home, lately it is very on the high side. And most times we see this issue as what we would have actually prevented, what we would have actually avoided earlier when these signs were actually visible. But we failed to look at issues like this, and of course, it became a problem. Lately last week, I was just scrolling through Facebook and I saw a post of a very good friend of mine. She actually posted senior, cousins and sisters. That's people that have been, she just, I think she's in 10 years since he got married, maybe 10 years anniversaries. So she was actually asking our seniors now, we don't uh, stay for this ministry, the marital ministry, for many years. She was actually asking that you people did not tell us, you people didn't inform us that, at 30, libido is on a very high side. Like women, face very high libido. They have very high libido at 30. You people didn't tell us how this, it is. And so if you have a very high libido and a man, cannot satisfy you, I mean, what do you expect that woman to do? I mean, that's one of the questions that, being real, this is a very real conversation. If a woman has a high libido, and the husband cannot satisfy, her, what do you expect that particular woman to do? Because I mean, sex is the life wire of marriage, whether you like it or not, or whether yes or yes, it is yes. Because the truth is, I can't say that women or the husband cannot do without sex, but then that actually helps to shape the marriage. So, far as you're married, you would actually tell me that it's not a particular thing that you don't give your mind to. Yes, there are many persons that are trained not to, be carried away by sex. There are, I mean, we have so many women that at the same time, yes, the urges come, but they try to train the brain, train their minds to, be distracted by some sort of stuff like that, like sex, allowing sex to be their problem. No, 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 no. Most of them, even distance marriage, how do you expect them to cope? Your husband is abroad and you are here in Nigeria. What is the solution? What will satisfy you? Is it not sex toys? So these are the justifications that women have. That this is why they settle for what sex toys. And it will really interest you to know that even in churches, in programs, I mean, I was shocked when I saw a vendor bringing this to sell in the church. I was, and women were rushing. Ah, my God. Women were actually rushing. They were rushing sex toys as if they are rushing 7 cups of Gary in the market. How? So, I mean, while I'm trying to connect my guest, how I wish the network will, allow her to join us. How I wish the network will allow us to allow her to join us. So when we talk about masturbation, a very quick one, masturbation actually is to pleasure yourself. Yes, in a very clear, simple term, in a very clear way, a layman could understand the act of, finding pleasure, you know, and that pleasure it's done by you. Not there's no second party here. It's you. So you are finding a way to satisfy your sexual urge. So yes, as your hormones, the chemicals that trigger, these the feel good hormones. I think that should be. It is not dopamine. I don't know if it is. Might be it should be. I won't love to place what I can recall, but I know dopamine is the hormone for confidence. But I know the feel good hormone should be. Is it cortisol, or I mean something similar, something really close to that, or oxytocin, something close to that between those two. But then there's a hormone that the body triggers whenever you feel good and whenever you release it. Because sex, is part of one way of making the body, feel satisfied and feel the pleasure. Pleasure here has to do with happiness. So yes, we've come to realize that men do masturbate. Not even men, boys. Boy masturbates. Boys masturbate. Men. The fact that they will try as much as possible to see how they can satisfy um, themselves. But at the same time, this satisfaction, how does it happen in women? How do they even get to satisfy the sexual urge? And it will interest you to know that women as we speak, as we speak. That is why mothers, you guys, it's a way. It's not. We love to be real. This is what we do in Uproot the Issue podcast. We love to uproot issues. It would interest you to know that even the caregivers, people that are saddled with the responsibility of looking after these children, they are the ones even luring them, showing them the path that they shouldn't have discovered early. Because in the puberty stage, in the stages of development, human development, that is a very critical, that is a very period that there are certain nonsense, there are certain mess you should not be exposed to. Once it sticks, I bet you it will stay for life. It only takes God, I mean God's intervention and therapeutic process for you to do what? To be fine. Because at the age of 13, 15, if you are exposed to what? Sexual pleasure, satisfying yourself 247. I mean, and yes, masturbation, they say is good. But then when you make it, to be on a very high side, like overdoing it, like excessive masturbation, it becomes a problem. It's turned to addiction. And so that means that the only thing you need to do in this life is to do what? Masturbate. If you do not masturbate, you can never be fine. If you don't masturbate, you can never be fine. So how does it happen in women? That is what we are waiting for. That is what we are actually gathering here to discuss. Do women masturbate more than men? It's a question. Let's know what you have to say in the comment section, the comment box. Actually waiting for my guest. I pray the network actually permits her. I can see you. Okay. Because she's telling that she's in, but she can't see me. Yeah, I can see that you are in. Okay, let's just see if we can have her back. Okay. Okay. Please give us some minutes. Okay, why still waiting for her to join? Yes, we were actually talking about how women, masturbate, but I mean, the I know that for sure, satisfying sexual satisfaction in women um do take different or various routes. It's just like this is you are going to a stream or you are going to the market, but we have several destinations that you can get to that market. Okay, so let's just say satisfaction as a market. Then I'm using that analogy. You are going to the market to get something, and there are several routes you can take. So for the little, and I may know or I may suggest, because of course I'm not a woman, I don't know how that may be for them. Maybe some of them may have different ways of satisfying the sexual urge, but some of them at the same time may, settle with fingering themselves. And this is one thing that mostly happen in the hostel. Was a boarder in secondary school, and I mean I have female friends that board. And one of the craziest things you hear is most of them, when they were juniors, some of them were really, really exposed to these things by the senior students. So at the light out, where of course, if you're a boarder, light out is that period that before we sleep, you get to, the lights actually are off. Then you have to use either your in lantern or your lamp that you have, to see anything. And that is just when light out comes is definitely a period that everyone will go to bed. You need to sleep. So some of them will use this period to what to expose the junior ones to this stuff, to this mess. So some of them will get to, lure the junior ones, having them, touching their breasts, the nipple, getting fingering them. So, see, there's something very funny about the mind. John Locke said that we are actually, beings that get to understand what is going on when through sensations. Okay, so when we feel the environment, of course, once you feel this thing. You just believe that, oh, maybe it's a normal thing. Okay, are you happy when, during this fingering? Yes, okay, so that is something that we may try some other time. So that is how gradually, if it's something that was done on the first day, it will be done on the second day. Like play, like play, like play, like play, like play. It has come to stay and become part of that junior student. So tell me how a junior student from JS2, JS3 will move to SS1 and will not likely, get another person initiated. It's just like a group. Come and test this thing, see how it is. And if this particular person is so obsessed with, pleasuring herself, ensuring that she is fine, and when that urge comes, she will find everything humanly possible to ensure that she satisfies herself, even if it means getting another junior student, even if her partner is not around. Even when her partner is not around, she must do what? She must satisfy herself. And so that is how lesbianism, that is how some of these naughty things that we do, here are actually brought to. It actually starts from it. It's not may not really be school alone. It may not really be school. That is why some persons just prefer. See, there's no way that is good. It's just the truth. There's no way that is good. Hey, we have a back. We have a back. We have a back. We have a back. Please say something. Let's hear you.
Sorry, guys. I've been having some connection issues from this end, and I really hope there won't be any glitch again, please. Thank you.
All right, we have our back. So actually, I was actually clearing the bush for you, clearing the way, just like John the Baptist, preparing the way for you, my guests. Thank you so much for having you
Oh,
back. I was actually, seeing how we can, establish some points to see that this is actually an issue. I wanted to paint it as an issue, and we see that I was actually sharing with them that this issue that we are using, we are to some level we feel shy talking about it. We don't actually talk about it. It's something that we disregard. It is happening. And where does it start? From very early stage. Schools, homes, children being sent to female school, even in mixed schools. There are so many things happening in the hostels, so many things happening at home without the knowledge of the parents. Okay? And so when this happens, the child goes with this and it becomes part of that child. If possible, that child actually get obsessed with it. And what will be of that child when she grows? So having you back, it's very remarkable. I'm happy because you get to tell us how masturbation, what when we say a woman is masturbating, I beg make we really understand how this thing they happen for on our side. Because me, I not say we are masturbating different. Men is different.
okay. So, what female masturbation entail is female masturbation is the stimulation of female genital organs, mostly the vulva, the clitoris, or other erogenous zones in the female body. And now it could happen in different forms. Some do it in the form of fingering. Some use pillows. Some some sometimes make use of sex toys like dildos, vibrators, and so on. So that's just what female masturbation entail. Just that stimulation of the female erogenous zone. Erogenous zone is that part of the body that gives sexual pleasure, give pleasures in some form. So yes, that's what the erogenous zone entails. So the moment you try to reach orgasm, as mostly said, that is what
Oh,
masturbation is. Or females use their penis, but for a female, they could use their clitoris, vulva, their boobs, their breasts, their nipples. Those are the erogenous zones. Those ones that when you touch, it gives orgasm or it gives sexual pleasure or satisfaction. That's it.
so this one they do say orgasm na turn by turn. If they follow join for una.
Orgasm that turn by turn. How? Go on, Timmy.
Oh, okay. So I yes, yes, we are still talking about if women actually masturbate more than men. But then I really want this to be very short, and so we get the set the point straight. So I would also love to know, because before someone masturbates, I believe that even when we say, do women, Abdullah will come to that question, but then let's get to know the root cause of this particular problem. Why is it that women, masturbate? Why?
Oh wow. Yeah.
Especially, this is not even happening. This is not even happening in. And please, I would love you to establish the fact that this is not limited to age. I don't know if it's limited to age, or if a small girl can masturbate with married women. But why masturbation?
Yes. As far as a lady has reached the age of puberty, masturbation could begin from there, because that's where your body starts you can experience that sexual pleasure because your sexual organs will load. So you are prone to achieve or to get to the height of sexual orgasm. So now, why do women want to masturbate? Why do they go into masturbation? Several reasons, but then the most common one
Oh, the network has actually taken out. Whew. Okay, I don't actually know um, if network is a weapon fashioned against this particular life, but it will not prosper. Because we really need to uproot this issue, okay? We really need to uproot the issue. I think she was actually trying to share with us why women masturbate. Why women masturbate, Why? Why do they masturbate? Okay. So, what do you think? Why do women masturbate actually? Do you think women actually masturbate more than men? Do you feel so? Yes, of course. For me, for me, women can actually masturbate. I mean, women could masturbate more than men, very more than men. For some reasons, that let's look at. I use the marital setting for example, okay, and that is I will actually answer those two questions. Blend those two questions to answer at the same time. Why women masturbate, and if women masturbate more than men. Of course, we look at sexual satisfaction. As much as being religious, okay, they say masturbation is a sin, but in reality, it may happen that it's not even a sin. To be real, it may, because come to look at it in marriage, situation where there's no problem as as tormenting, and let me use the word tormenting, as displeasing, as discomfortable as the issue of sex in marriage. I'm yet to see another problem. I'm yet to see another weapon fashion against marital home like that particular issue. Maybe the issue of your wife not actually not provision. They say provision, yeah, providing for the home, yeah. But when it has to do with sex, it's one problem that is driving marital home so crazy. So you see that maybe the man is someone that is, hyperactive. When we say hyperactive, Odogu Parara, he can deliver. And the woman is not really a sex freak. I mean, how will the man cope? How will the man cope? Because we have certain men that they cannot do without sex in one day. They are men like that. They can't do without having sex in a day. Like it has become part of them. So that the brain will go well, the brain will function even at workplaces. That is why most of them do mess up at workplaces. Anyhow, as far as anyhow you will deliver, just help them have the orgasm. And once they have it, it's fine. So you see, most of them could not control themselves even at workplace. It's very difficult to see them control themselves. I mean, a man will just sit and invite a lady, or even you see how he or she he will be moved to do what? To sexually assault or sexually molest his staff. It happens. His staff kissing the ass. What wouldn't he do? Eh? At the slightest opportunity, and what if? And there's no problem at workplace as your boss molesting you or coming after you, or he wants to do what, sleep with you, or he wants to do what, to have one or two things to do with you as a lady, especially if you are the what, the employee. Eh? It's a very big problem, and that is what most of our women are actually facing. And the problem here is that most of the times you get to ask yourself if you should check very well. You see that this man is married, not married to any guinea wife. Hot, good, enticing, succulent wife. And you ask yourself, what on earth will actually push this man to what? To cheat, to do this. Okay? Now we flip to the side of the women. This one is very funny, because somehow it actually happens that it's very obvious that it is. I have actually discussed with friends with the issue of sexual issue, infidelity, cheating in marriage, because it's something that pushed me to ask a question: why will you marry a wife, or why will you have a happy marital home and we still have men? You see, most of the time, in fact, I've even come to register that sometimes it's women that do not allow this cheating. Women know they allow them. Now when we cheat, I mean, it's very obvious that we are cheating as men. Some of the men are cheating. It's quite obvious, but I ask myself, is it that women don't cheat? A friend of mine told me that most of them do, but in a very coded way. But why do they move all out to do what? To do this. One is the problem of sexual satisfaction. If the woman cannot satisfy the wife, what do you expect her to do? It's even much more better than going to do what? To mess around, maybe have a sugar boy, or have what, another man outside, or someone that, especially in our place, in over here in our culture, that there is a practice that actually stands as a barrier to women. Of course, that doesn't really favor women. I mean, I don't know why that thing is not up to placed in men as well. This particular issue called a bunkawo, in our place, in our culture, you dare not cheat on your husband. So that is why you see most women going to have one or two things to do with these boys instead of if with that women find it so difficult to cheat. Not that they are not moved to, but because of what they practice, what actually blocks the way of cheating in marriage. In my culture, I believe it's most parts of a Bible. So instead of going to mess around, or instead of going to do what, to reduce the steez, or I know sex doesn't even honor dignity, so sex doesn't even honor the steez as well. At all. It doesn't. If he wants to disgrace you, when the urge comes, you will do it whether you like it or not, at any way. So instead of doing this, settle for sex toys, dildos. That my guest was actually telling me the other time, that if you see the level of hey God, if you see the increase in dildos now in marital homes, you will be shocked. Even mothers now, mothers are actually teaching children, the girls, how to use it. Some mothers, and it's crazy. And they have actually normalized sex toys. They have actually normalized it. It's something that is normal. It's something that is normal. Because for them, if the husband is outside, there are some homes that they barely see the husband, certain homes that barely see the father, or the wife will barely see the husband for a month or two. What do you expect her to do? And now that this libido is on a very high side, at 30, at 4, what do you expect her to do? Make she die? She not go die. Continue no go kill her and beg. Make she settle herself. And what is the messiah? What is the solution here? It is sex toys. So these are actually the justifications that most ladies have concerning this issue. I mean, network. Sorry. My guest is actually talking about network issues. Sorry, dear. Sorry. Yeah. So yes. So do women, cheat more than men? For me, not being biased. I say yes, they do. They do. Because if a man, I believe that the mind has a connection with the body. Yes, the urge is very real. It happens. But for me, I feel that if you train the mind, okay, that's why most ladies just distract themselves. They find them so they just get busy. They get so busy so that they will not, be distracted, or they will not even think. They won't even be pushed to think of doing what, having such urge, or satisfying themselves. But man, body no be firewood. Even in relationship, okay. So we'll get to see how this thing affects relationships as well. I mean, I love being real, because the truth is, in as much as yes, masturbation medically they won't tell you it's bad, because of course it's a good way to relieve stress. Once you masturbate like that and release, of course the stress will the stress will just go. And I mean, you're actually at the same time, the pleasure you have there, it's also boosting you as well, because of course you'll be fine. But when it becomes when it becomes an addict, when you're addicted to it, it's also already a problem, because you will not find joy, you will not find happiness, you will not find satisfaction elsewhere than that thing. If sex toy is the only way to get pleasure or to get satisfaction, that is the only way for you. Not even a manhood can do it. It's not possible. For you, it's not possible. And what is the effect in marriage? It has a very terrible effect. For example, the problem of satisfaction. Of course, researchers, according to a urogynecologist, they actually said that one professor that I know, Professor Moyo, he actually said that a woman, a man cannot last. In fact, max, max is 13 to 15 minutes. Max. 13 to 15 minutes. Any man that lasts more than that is not normal. It is not, I'm not saying the man is not normal, but it is not normal. So the maximum time a man, someone could last in bed, is 18 to 15 minutes. There are people that do convention. I don't know, sexual convention. I don't know, for 8 hours. I don't know where that they get energy from. So it's one thing to claim you can pleasure a woman. It's another thing for the woman to have satisfaction, to be satisfied. So this is the big problem. So what happens when the woman is not satisfied? And it is very, very difficult. I mean, if it's it's that difficult, it is not so easy, to have this with a woman, to it gets to a point of orgasm and she is satisfied. It is just so difficult, even difficult than everyday mathematics in class. It's not that easy. I mean, I may be wrong. For me, that is what I've noticed, and that is what I sense. It is just difficult. So, what if you cannot satisfy the woman? What will happen? In marriage, it happens. Many homes today, we have situations where the man cannot satisfy, the man is not active. I mean, the man is not that he's not active, but he's not giving, he's not giving. You understand? You people know what I'm saying. It's not giving. It's not giving. Not that it's not active, but it's not giving well. But what would you expect the woman to do? Okay, if sex toys will be introduced. I mean, lifesaver. Okay, so that to get the woman, if the woman is aroused, to get that sexual, the libido, everything, it will actually go a long way to do what, to satisfy her. Okay, and if the person is addicted to it, it will get to a point that he or she may not really, because we're actually talking about a woman here. I mean, the woman may not really settle for, any form of, she may not get in the sexual activity, she may not get the pleasure, she may not get that joy that she would have gotten if she was masturbating or using sex toy or vibrators or fingering or the rest, anyhow you may call it. So that is why you see that women are actually, women are actually, it happens that it is for me, basically, it is always a problem when it comes to, yes, it may sound so funny. It may sound funny while growing up, but when it gets to marriage, it is one thing, because one thing about marriage is it is no going back. Say, I've decided to follow. Now marriage, the stuff that really happen. You are not following Jesus. I have decided to follow man. You've decided to follow man, and so there is no turning back. But let me also tell you that day in, day out, women are walking out of marriage. Women are facing issues in marriage. Not really because, not most times, in fact, it's not really the issue of abuse here again. Because I mean, we have women that I love the audacious women. I mean, women have the evolution now has, encouraged us to stand up as women. I love what is happening now. Women are actually, are actually equipped. They're actually sensitized. That gone are the days you endure nonsense in the man's house. Gone are the days you keep quiet. Gone are the days you go through molestation just to preserve the home, just for the sake of children. Rubbish. Women are not doing that again. They are not. What they're after now is to ensure that they have now person daughter be that you can't bring a woman to molest. You can't bring a woman to abuse. You can't do that in the name of marriage. So that is why women have actually woken up. If it's not favored, they walk out. Is better their sanity is intact than to do what? To leave it in the hands of a man and say or be or obsequious, arbitrary, thunder fire that kind of arbitrary. It will never happen. So that is why women have actually woken up. So now in marriage, it is one problem, one issue that it's yes, you may say that yes, women are there are some issues now. Molestation is on the high side, but I don't think it is on that high side currently now because it is reducing. So the issue now that is happening is the problem of cheating and sexual satisfaction. It is a problem. I mean, there's persons that don't do that. It is teachable. There's nothing like teachable. There are persons that don't do that. They feel that it is not teachable anything. If it didn't, just like one of our colleagues, if it didn't there, it didn't there. If they be the shaker, if the power is not there, it cannot power. It cannot charge a woman up. So the woman must do what? Must rise. In vibrators, in dildos, in sex toys, we stand. Okay, okay. I believe we have you back. I believe we have you back. I believe we have you back. I believe the network permits. I just believe. I believe. Can you say something, please? Can you hear me? Please say something. Let me know that you can hear me. Okay, I can't hear you. In case you can hear me. Okay, I think your mic is on now. Say something, please. Okay,
Yes, I can hear
okay.
you.
So yes, let's just because in less than 20 minutes we need to
I can hear
call it
you.
a wrap. But then let's just touch certain places. You talked about why women masturbate. I mean, I was trying to also polish that as well. You know.
Yes. So now that my network is granting the access, some of the reasons why women masturbate is first for pleasure, orgasm, and satisfaction. Now you know it's not all women that get satisfied when they have sex the normal way. Yeah, it's not all women that get satisfied that route. So for them to get to the orgasm which they want or which they deserve, they kind of now opt for masturbating. Yes, they just have to, okay, fine, let me just masturbate. If I can reach the orgasm, yes, I can be sexually satisfied. So you could see some of them get dildos, some could get vibrators, some finger themselves, just so they can satisfy themselves the way they want. Because most of them believe that it's not that most times the man we are having sex with can't satisfy them as they wish to be satisfied. So they now opt for or the other opts for masturbation. Another reason is because Masturbation, some of them, it is said to be a stress reliever. Yes, it relieves stress and it brings about relaxation because it relieves an endorphin, which is a neurochemical that's responsible for reducing or for relieving stress. So most of them
Okay.
believe that if they masturbate, it can relieve stress, it can relieve the whole burden they've been carrying. If I just finish this orgasm, then I can be satisfied. I don't know if you understand what orgasm means. Orgasm has lots of benefits to some extent. It also has lots of benefits in the sense that you can get to that height. It feels like that's why they used to say I'm in cloud nine. Yeah, that cloud nine is what they are trying to say. Now when you reach that cloud nine, it means that I'm a bit free temporarily. I'm a bit free of all my problems. I'm happy. It brings this enthusiasm. It brings this ecstasy to them. You get. So that's another reason why some of them do masturbate, or why some women masturbate. Another reason is self-exploration and discovery. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please proceed. I can hear you.
All right. Another reason is self-exploration and discovery. Another way, most women believe that one way for them to understand which part of their body could bring so much pleasure to them is by masturbating. No, it's not all women that believe in the full sex. To some, foreplay is the real game for them. Yes, we have to just be real. To some, foreplay is the real game for them. To others, this. To others, is to some is just maybe foreplay. To some, it is to others it is sorry, I was kind of distracted. Sorry. So as I was saying, so to some of them, foreplay is a real game. To others, it's just maybe you touching their breast or something. So they feel like masturbation helps them to explore their body, to explore which part of their body brings that satisfaction which they want. uh Then to others, another benefit for them, to those women that masturbate, is it helps to make them sleep. Most times when you reach orgasm, it's kind of the ecstasy you feel from it kind of induces sleep, and then you could just sleep off because of the ecstasy you get from masturbating. So those are just a few reasons why women masturbate: for satisfaction and orgasm, to relieve stress, for self-exploration and discovery, and also for to help them in sleeping as a sleeping aid. Yes, those are just the four few reasons which are common reasons why women masturbate. Yes.
Okay, then you know when you talked about when you talked about foreplay, okay. Now that particular point actually caused me to ask you: Is it that men is it that men are not performing?
Is it that
Is
men
it
do
that
what?
men are not
Sorry.
performing? Because I believe it's one thing to claim that you know this thing, and it's another thing to perform well. So is it that men are not performing, that women settle for sex toys?
Well, we can't generally say that men are not performing. So we can just look at some of the reasons why most of them opt for sex toys and not men. But then the most common one is that sex toy is used as a complementary most times and not a substitute, because it's not every time sex toy can give you what you deserve. Yes, let's be real. It's not every time sex toys can give you what you deserve. Sometimes having the real sex is the real game. It's usually common. You can't expect the artificial one to always give you what it's supposed to give.
What the
But
one,
then
right?
the most reason why women opt for it is that maybe to their sex partner, maybe their sex partner is not really helping them as they should. or it's not really satisfying them as it should. So one of the reason is reliability. Yes, sex toys is
Okay.
reliable. If you have it, you can always use it at any time. You get. It's not like you having to wait for your sex partner. Ah, okay, let's say for married women, let's use the word, let's use married women, yeah. Let me tell you, like, honey, where are you? And this honey sometimes could be very stressed out and they don't have the mood for it. So at that point, you're like, and you're already horny and you want to just have the sex. So what you just do at that point is, okay, fine, my sex toy is there. Let me go for my sex toy. So to keep your sex toy reliable, you also need to make sure your sex toy is always there. It's at your disposal. You can pleasure. It helps them to gain that satisfaction.
Wow. So yeah, helping them to gain the satisfaction. Hope you can still hear me. I mean, you can hear me, right?
So instances like that, you find them opting for sex toys or masturbating. Obviously, they want to, okay, I want to ask, I have to masturbate because come on, my husband is a 1 minute man. He's not satisfying me. Or even if he's satisfying, even if he's doing it, he's not doing it the right way. And then it's not all women that know how to open up. That's it. That's why communication is very necessary. I'm not talking to singles here because one, I'm a Christian. I believe that fornication shouldn't be applauded. Yes, so I'm talking to the married people somehow. And I know we all will get married somehow. So to the married people, some of them don't know how to communicate. Let me use women, because we're talking about women here. Most women don't know how to communicate to their spouses. They don't know how to tell their spouse, see, I don't like the way you're doing this thing. I don't think this method is good for me. I don't think I enjoy this method. So for most women, they enjoy prolonged foreplay than the real game. For others, they like the real game than foreplay. From some people, they're like, "What are you even doing with foreplay? Oh God, do the job and get out." But some they want it to, they want the foreplay. Foreplay is that little act you do before you go to the real game. Could
Mm.
be kissing. Why are you saying? It could be kissing. It could be touching yourselves, touching her nipples and all. So those are like forms of foreplay, which I don't want to talk much about it. But then, so some women they like it that way. So one of the issues in married women is that they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to tell their spouse that, oh, see, I don't like the way you're doing this thing. I like it this way. I think if you do it this way, I'll feel more satisfied. So I want to see this opportunity to encourage some women that, okay, if you know that your partner isn't giving you what you deserve, you can open up, speak out. Because one thing with sex toys or what we masturbating is that masturbating is effort to addiction. When you test it once, when you eat the apple once, you want more. When you test the apple, you want to have more of it because come on, it's fun to some of them. So you want to always have more of it. And at that point, it might affect your relationship with your spouse. It might affect your relationship with your spouse because your sexual relationship with your spouse because it will get to a point that you're like, what is the point? I have my way of satisfying myself. What is even the point of now having sex with you?
Mm.
So and you also know that sex is a form of intimacy. It bonds couples. So to some of them, they just feel like, okay, female can't just do it. Why don't I ask for my masturbate? Why don't I just masturbate and then move on with my life? So in a long while, in the long run, it affects marriages, affects your sexual life. This one will just go this one will go this way. Even if you guys should make out, it's just there's no fun in it. Yes, speak out and tell your spouse everything. And then to some spouses, When your wife opens up to you, don't feel that she hates you. It's a concern. It's a concern to her. Try to see how you can adjust to help her. So that's it for now. Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
Thank you.
a married woman,
Okay, I mean,
if
a
you are
married
married,
woman,
you want to do it
you are
right, you
married,
want to have it the right
you
way,
want to
you feel
have
and
it the
we
right
believe
way,
you need to communicate
feel
with
and
your
we believe
spouse.
in your spouse.
And but then before we call it a wrap, I would love you
And
to ask this last
for
question for people that are
this last
for
question,
ladies that are addicted,
for,
to
for people that,
masturbation. What's the way out
to
as a
masturbation,
counselor? What's the way
what
out?
the way
Because I
out,
believe it's not something that we just
what the
can
way out.
wake up and
Because I
get out
believe
of
it's not something that we
masturbation.
just we
That
can wake
addiction,
up
they
and
cannot just do that. So,
that
in your
addiction they
own
cannot do
field or
that.
in your position as a counselor,
In your
what is your guide?
field or in what is your okay?
What is what? Sorry.
Okay, so I'm asking that for women, you know.
Can you please go over the question again?
Okay,
Okay, so we
I was asking that for women that
I
are
was
actually
asking
addicted
that for
to
women that
masturbation,
are actually addicted to masturbation,
what is actually the way out as a counselor? What is the way out?
actually
If I got you right, you're asking what's the way out of masturbation, right?
The addiction, the addiction, the
Your line was
addiction.
kind of breaking.
um,
Did I get you right?
the action
Yes, I'm talking about being addicted, to
Did I get
masturbation.
you right?
being
Yeah, so what's the
addicted,
way out?
to yes, I want the way out.
Okay, what way out? Um, Masturbation, like every form of addiction or every form of habit, is a very big road to break. You don't just come out of it easily. It takes a process. Now, the first process is acceptance. Accept what you're doing isn't right. Accept the negative effects of what you're doing. Yes, you have to accept it because even if you try to, even if someone tries to stop this, you stop this. If you don't accept it first, then there's no way of healing out of it. So you have to accept that what you're doing isn't right for you. If you're a married person, isn't right for your relationship. And then you have to identify the triggers. What triggers it? To some, it's for me watching pornographic videos or seeing pornographic images could trigger it. To others, it could be having some erotic or naughty discussions with people that can arouse it. To other set of people, it could be to other set of people, it could be being alone in a confined place. You know, seeing like the common saying that says, "Sin thrives in secrecy." So when you're in a secluded place, that's where most times you want to masturbate. You're not really seeing someone masturbate in public. It's mostly in their private spaces. So being in a private space could be another trigger for it. So you have to identify the triggers. What triggers masturbation? What are those things that makes me want to masturbate? You have to know it. Now, for those that it could be in being in a confined place could be their trigger. I think you should always try to ensure that you're around people as much as possible. You should always ensure that you're around people because when you're around people, it's not really easy for you to masturbate in front of them, definitely. So you also have to ensure that you're around people. When you get the arousement to do it, you can easily have someone, a trusted friend, or maybe if you're a married person, your spouse, you could just, oh, see, I'm feeling some way. Have someone to talk to. Or if you're alone in the house and then there's nobody around, you could just walk around. You could just take a stroll around your house to take your head off those streets, of the harassment. Yes. And then for those that are addicted to pornographic images, well, I think there's this way of blocking some sites. I think it's called safe something, safe browsing. Yes, so you could activate safe browsing, making sure that you block everything pornographic, every illicit thing from coming to your browser so that you don't just have to get to it. And if you have it in your phone, if you're someone that saves it in your phone, you could get rid of it. You could just want to come back. But then it's a process. And then you also have to determine that you want to change. Yes, determine you want to change. And if it seems that it's getting to the extreme, you've tried every approach, it's not working, you can seek the help of a therapist or a counselor. Yes, like someone like me that is a guidance counselor, we handle cases like that because you will need someone to talk to. At every A counselor will know how to take you through different steps till you get to that point where you are free from it. So you can always have a counselor. You can have a counselor, a therapist that you can reach out to and then open up to the person, tell the person the challenge, and then be willing to change. When you're willing to change, every aspect of it will work to your favor. And then even if in the process of changing you fail, don't just fail and keep quiet. That's another thing. When you fail and you keep quiet, you always continue with it. When you fail, if you have a counselor, open up to the counselor that see, I failed the other time. Counselor will encourage you. Okay, I understand. It's right to fail. You're not going to just heal spontaneously. So the person can help you and then guide you through it. So those are just the little ways that could help you if you are looking
Okay,
into masturbation.
so if in
So
any way, at any time, you are addicted to masturbation as a
if
lady,
you
I
are
mean, you are not
addicted
alone. You need to do what?
as a
To accept
lady,
first that
Yeah.
you
I
need
mean, you're
help
not alone.
before
You're
seeking
not
You need to do what?
alone. There are
To accept
counselors
first
around.
before
Counselors are your
seeking
friends.
the help of a guidance
Okay.
counselor. That was a very remarkable
the help of
session
a
with
guidance counselor. That was a
Comrade
very remarkable
Darago Victor,
session with
a guidance
Comrade
counselor, and of course, the outgoing
a
Vice
guidance
President of
counselor
Student
and,
Union Government
of course,
University
the
of Uyo.
outgoing Student Union Government University of Wuyu.
Until next live stream, we love you. Thank you so much for
Live stream.
honoring
We
this
love you. Thank
invitation.
you
Though
so
the
much
network
for
messed things up, but we
honoring this
believe
to
that
mess things
we'll
up,
do
but
better.
we
Thank
believe
you so
that
much,
we'll do
uplift
better.
people. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, uplift people. Goodbye.
Thank you, Dara.
Thank you, Dara.